Gosh, don't listen to the ad. Hi, Mike. I'm trying out this new video on YouTube called Square Enix and Chill. Hopefully it's good music. I hear now this is the sad music in Final Fantasy X that kind of plays. I forgot where it plays. Xanarkand? No, right? Am I eating colorless mush? Look, I'm eating really cold oatmeal. I got distracted today. What's new? I've got ADHD. I made myself oatmeal and it was warm and it was more watery than this. And I was excited for it because I genuinely like oatmeal. And then I thought of things that I want to get done in my garden, and I was like, I've got a little bit of time. So I went out there and did things, and I forgot. So now I'm gonna eat my oatmeal. Breakfast of Champions oatmeal energy drink. I kind of want to get a second energy drink. This one's already a little bit gone. I could use the energy today. Also, I'm trying to be more, listen, I'm very much a millennial person, which you probably know because I'm playing Chrono Trigger, but I'm trying to part my hair in the middle now, which I do a very side part. It's become a little bit less extreme over the years, but I'm trying to go straight in the middle because I think I'm losing, like, my hairline is so far back on this side, but maybe it is on this side too, but it just looks like I'm balding a little bit here. I don't know if I am or not. I don't know if the side part changes things. How are you guys? Also, let me tell you, I'm an emotional wreck these days. I've literally been crying every single day. I've just got a lot of feelings lately. And I think it's probably stemming from my anxiety about going back home and seeing family. Your hairline is doing the exact same thing? It's the millennial hairline now. Do you part your hair, Mike? I'm trying to think. If you do part, I feel like you must part it straight in the center. Man, it's been years since I last seen you, Mike. Even, you know what? With the friends, we should all, like, next time we're in a chat together, can we put on our cam so we can all see each other? So for those of you who don't know, Mike is a IRL friend of mine, but I haven't seen him in years. We don't live in the same state anymore. It's technologically possible. Okay, but do you hate me or are you willing? Hi, Crazy Head. If I didn't say that before, how are you guys? I'm down to just like chill and chat for a little bit while I eat my oatmeal. So please talk to me. If you guys don't want to talk, I do have something to talk about. Well, I don't know. The thing that I want to talk about is like the things that I've been, hold on, is it focused? The things that I've been like watching and consuming on the internet. By the way, Lego Case kind of wrapped up. People are saying the CoffeeZilla video is kind of the finale. You refuse to answer on advice of counsel. Get your lawyer, Mike. See if I care. Lego case is wrapped up. It's a bunch of clerical errors, which might be covering up for actual, like, bad actors try to take advantage of the situation. Mostly I think it's just a little incomp. I think it's like what's it called when you're a little bit careless, but it has like far-reaching. Is there a term? Careless endangerment, reckless endangerment, but I don't know if that has this like that, but not for physical danger, for a crime. The other thing that I think I could talk about is I was just watching, there's a podcast called Wine About It. It's by Cutie Cinderella and Valkyrie, both huge streamers. And Cutie Cinderella was talking about, and I don't know, like, she didn't like make it public and is talking about it there. Some mental health issues. And I just find that a lot of stuff I feel like also reflects like what's going on in my life. Hi, Junior Dax. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. If you guys are willing, if you guys are up for it. While I eat my cold smushy oatmeal, it's like Jell-O now. I'm gonna pull up the video so we can watch a little part of it. But let me tell you, I cried so much watching this video. And I have been crying a lot lately. And I think she talks about like her experience, which I think is like very similar to what I'm going through. And I think that's kind of why, like, it's another thing for me to look out for caring for my mental health. And it's this idea of like emotional dysregulation and how it can like get, if you don't address it, it can just get worse and worse. And emotional dysregulation, like a consequence of that is the things that have been going on with me, which is like literally I start crying for the smallest things. And it's happening now. My voice is getting kind of shaky. Hope you are well on this fine day. Junior Dax, I've never been better. I'm just kidding. I am doing good. I am having a great day. I was just like out in the garden, playing with my dog, pulling some weeds in the sun. It's been really good. I have been still devoured by mosquitoes. I'll have you know, Junior Dax, I'm still as like smelly with my pheromones and whatever, and my carbon dioxide as ever. So the mosquitoes are devouring me outside, but still having a good time. Hi, Seether. ADHD is a regulatory thing that applies to attention, activity, emotion, everything. Gotta stay on top of that. Yay, brain chemistry. Yeah. Let me pull up this. And it's like that. And it's also like stress and anxiety and like trauma that like all piles onto it as well. That can cause you to like have dysregulation with your emotions. And so I'm talking about this podcast, Wine About It, and one of the hosts, Cutie Cinderella, I've always felt like a little bit of like birds of a feather. Her mom had passed away from suicide and my brother did, and I don't know, I feel like she sometimes like brings up like these hard things in her life, and even though she like jokes about it sometimes and isn't like super serious, I don't know. I've always felt like maybe we have some things in common. Anyway, she was talking a little bit about emotional dysregulation. Let me pull it up. I'm trying to get the first thing. And I just think I'm going to start crying again maybe. But here. Hold on, sorry. Hold on. By the way, my new video, please go give it a like. Please go let it run. Act like you're watching it. Give it a like, please. I'm gonna edit all together, like the Piteous Ruins. Into like one more condensed video. This is just the raw thing, so you can also wait for that condensed video. And then I'm gonna ask you guys to go like it, please. But I have to do a lot more editing on that. Let me see if I can find panic attacks, mental health. Gosh, I don't know which. I should have gotten a timestamp. Hi, Spario. Oh god, ad.
Curfew. Like, what if?
Hi, Brosum. Discord channel worked big. I know. I did it. I did it. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Brosum, for pointing it out. Otherwise, literally nobody would have told me. Just let me live in my delusion. Wait, which is kind of what this Twitch stream is. Me just talking, acting like I'm talking to somebody. You guys are somebodies, okay? But sometimes it feels like, and especially in the beginning, you know, or like when I started streaming, I just have to like talk, and I just told myself, just like pretend somebody's there. Pretend you've got one person watching. Why didn't any of you... Don't say the word fans, that's gonna make me throw up. Mixed feelings about the name Wine About It, punny. Come on, Seether, you're the king of puns. Better to be hitting that coffee or tea than boozy stuff? Yeah, I mean, I'll still go for a drink. I think they are not... I think they have wine, but I don't think they usually drink wine.
Well, then I'd be like...
But also a warning that it does talk about, like, some difficult things here.
Like, if you're not following the rules, you know? Because...
I was gonna say there's a dinner...
Everyone has, like, an inner critic, right? You have an inner critic. You have that thing when you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, I freaking... You...
Wait, I think she starts talking about it here.
There. We'll get there. It's a slow... It's like I said, it's a slow journey. I think they say this in Alcoholics Anonymous a lot, which I'm not an alcoholic, but they say, like, you know, it took...
Those parasocial zealots.
13 years to go that far into the woods.
You have to go back.
You have to go back. Like, it's not quick. It's not... It's also... I've learned it's not linear. That's what's... I mean, obviously, this is, like, so... I'm being a little forehead here. Like, oh, recovery's not linear. It's not. What they say is true. Some days are better than others.
A lot of things are not linear. They say that a lot about grief as well. And she is grieving in this moment.
Like a dysregulated nervous system. It's very much so like high highs, low lows, like not really high highs. Actually, I'll take that back. There hasn't really been
same.
high highs, but like
I do have high highs though. And maybe you guys noticed this. I am like I've always felt like I'm just a person of extremes. Like, I can be really excited and happy sometimes, and I can be really down and depressed sometimes. And now it's like getting more and more. Sometimes I feel like it gets worse and worse. And that's why I feel like I'm so glad I listened to her talk about this, because I think emotional dysregulation is something that I need to just like keep tabs on in my life a little bit more.
Like everything is really intense, so I get overwhelmed much more easier than I have in the past. Like I don't have as much control, which is a scary thing for me. I'm learning how to, I'm learning how to regulate, I'm learning how to control, but
I would say maybe for me it doesn't feel that scary. It feels scary in that sometimes, and she talks about it I think like a bit earlier, the times that I feel like my emotions are out of control, and I do feel like I have some like ways to cope with it. Or sometimes I'll wake up, and I think she mentioned something similar of like being in loops of like memories or like really thoughts that are really like depressing or like memories that are really depressing. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be thinking about something, and a part of me will be like, shit, like stop thinking about this. Like it's just gonna make you upset, and I can't stop. And when it gets like that, that's the scary thing. of like I'll just have these like really painful memories of things. Sorry. And that's when it feels out of control for me. I don't know exactly what she means by out of control here, though.
Something as simple as like...
Oh, is this okay? To be starting out my stream talking about this? I'm just trying to enjoy my cold oatmeal before I start playing. And this is what I've been thinking about a lot lately, so I thought maybe we could talk about it. And I think it is kind of important because you know what? As I felt like I was very happy. I'm not happy. I was crying the whole time when I was watching this the first time. But I felt like this is good that I heard this, because now this is something I need to keep track of. Like, I wish I can also like talk about it with the people close to me in my life, like the troubles that I've had, for example, in my relationship, like where I don't think like they fully understand. She'll talk about how she's dating Ludwig, right? The other big streamer. It's like power couple streamer. How he's like just so calm and just like perfectly regulated himself. But I wish I could just explain it to people, like what I'm going through, why I can start like in a second just start crying, or like get really like I can't overwhelmed, and like I can't handle certain situations. And I wish I had like the language at least to talk about it and see I like hope that other people understand me better. So I'm kind of glad. So I think this is like good and helpful to talk about.
Like a really like this is like LA, so this is a good example. Like a really bumpy, loud, hot car ride, panic attack.
My law enforcement career in Alaska.
I do have panic attacks, and by the way, this kind of stuff would happen to me before I even realized I was that different from everybody. I would get overwhelmed over the small, and I would start like, to other people, it would be like I'm overreacting to something. I'm desperately like trying to change something because, to me, like, something happened, and then I'm just gonna be like so hard on myself about it, and I think it looks a little bit strange to other people. I've been doing this basically since I've become an adult. This like, and it's not always a full-blown panic attack, but the kind of like dysregulate, or like, I don't know, the kind of like overwhelm in certain situations.
Like, you know, and stuff like normally, and I'm saying that because this has happened in the past like 3 weeks or whatever, when Lud came and picked me up for a weekend. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's just, but I have like, you know, I've got some coping skills, and I've got some ways to pull me out of panic attacks now. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work as well. And but it's just a work in progress, and mental health is a crazy thing. And if you've never experienced it, it's hard to like, you can have sympathy, but it's really hard to have empathy, because you're like, what is going on in that head? Like,
it's hard to understand if you don't experience something like it.
Yeah, but I also think those are the best people. It seems contradictory, but like Ludwig hasn't really suffered from anxiety. He's never suffered from depression, and
lucky,
just, you know, he has a very regulated nervous system. And everyone has like an inner critic, right? You have an inner critic. You have that thing when you look in the mirror.
Talking about this one time where she did get like overwhelmed
you
like that.
Talk about your eye bags, right?
Yeah, let myself go.
Yeah, you're like, oh, whatever, you know.
And by the way, she's talking about like everybody has an inner critic. I'm gonna try to like stop being so down on myself. I was talking about just the past stream how much I realized like I've gained a bit of weight. I don't know, and maybe I shouldn't even talk about it now, or like sometimes I'll bring up something because I just notice it and I'm hard on myself. And sometimes I'll, like, when I was doing that Pity House dungeon, the Final Fantasy 15 secret dungeon, I kept, like, or whenever I play StarCraft 2, I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Gosh, I'm so bad. I'm such an idiot. But I think I'm going to stop trying to talk about that so much. I think, like, the more I say things out loud, just the easier it is that those thoughts come to mind. And I think I'm going to try and, to a minimum, as much as I can. Guzzling the garden content, reveling the RTS stuff, feeding in the Final Fantasy. YouTube audio, is super low. Sorry, I did like raise it, but I don't know if you guys were able to hear so much. I do have a low from Chrono Trigger. Because Chrono Trigger could be so loud. Question is how to find a happy median existence versus just trying to muffle or mute the world. Be even rather than numb. Flip to that side. Yeah, it's all about. I don't know. That's life, right? There's always gonna be ups and downs. When you're dysregulated, those feel like way more chaotic than they should. Human emotion, it's the disease? Do you practice mindfulness or headspace or anything? No. Do you catch yourself fixating or well, maybe I do, but I don't use those words for it. Fixating or brooding. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I do try not to fixate it. I was just saying like how sometimes I feel like I get in a spiral of like, for me, it's like painful memories. I'll remember things about the past or like hard things about the past or like things that I wish I did better. And by things that I wish I did better, it's like ways that I wish I was a better sister to my brother, for example. And that's like the most, I don't know, extreme like emotional pain that I get. Feedback spirals. Yeah, I think it is like ADHD, like it enhances this some more, like that you can just, well, I don't know, like it just feels like it's on repeat all the time sometimes. But yeah, I can't like think off the top of my head about like practices. She said she has like some coping mechanisms now to deal with like panic attacks and things like that. I don't know that I do, except that I do try and when I realize it's happening, and I think maybe that's the biggest thing for me is like realizing it's happening. And then I try very hard to distract myself or like think of something else or even just like walking up, like standing up and like walking to like my dog or something or I don't know, trying to get some other kind of stimulus.
Sometimes that critic is usually there to protect you in some capacity, probably because you think if you point out your eye bags, then it's gonna hurt less if someone else points them out, right? Like, so it's like I already know they're there.
Soothing thing.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to have.
It's not.
But when you're really dysregulated, essentially you're letting like the most negative parts of your brain, which we all have, really take control in a way, because it's just trying to protect you from anything that can hurt you, right? Because like I've just experienced a lot of hurt in my life, and I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of big feelings, and so I feel a lot. Like you know, I'm the type of person that literally sees like roadkill and has cried. Like it's just like I've got a lot of feelings, and what happened?
I've got a lot of feelings when I saw Magus's cat. Remember him after so many years? That was the most devastating. That was the most devastating emotional thing that happened to me all day.
That was interesting.
Choked me up.
It was like a learning that I had to take back. So the first week I didn't get. Essentially, you have to like earn a weekend pass. You know, like you have to, you know, show that you can handle a weekend pass. Plus, it's part of my therapy to have exposure to like the empty house and a lot of things, which I won't get into detail. But
also, what's it like to have therapy? I wish I could afford
the first
treatment
weekend
like
back
this.
was just one night, and that's where I got, like I said, I had like 3 or 4 panic attacks. It was the first coherent time. I mean, even when you came and visited me at the house directly after, losing him, it's like amnesia, right? Like it's like it was just, if I wasn't sobbing, I was sleeping. Like it was a lot. And
I feel bad just like replaying this, her talking about like the super emotional moment. Or moments. I recommend this video if you guys want to watch it, like in full. I think it showed that it fully played, but I don't remember fully watching everything because I was crying real hard and I think I got up and walked around halfway through, so I'm gonna finish it later. I will say my biggest like, it wasn't a panic attack, it was literally like my vagus nerve kind of like shutting off my body. That happened because I felt overwhelmed, like yeah, no, I think, what's it called? Vagus nerve? Something happened, stimulation, reset, like, there's something that can happen to your vagus nerve. It's called something. This has happened to me a few times. And this is the biggest thing that happens to me because of my, often brought on by intense stress, pain, trauma, or digestive strain. And let me tell you, all of these things are linked for me. But yeah, I basically get like physically bedridden for a couple of days when this happens, and I feel like a very strong sense of vertigo, huge migraine. I feel like I'm gonna faint, and oftentimes, like, when it happens, okay, it's happened to me, like, right when I've gotten out of a hot shower, when there's a lot of steam. I thought I was just feeling lightheaded, but I had to, like, lie down on the floor so I didn't, like, fall over or faint or anything. Yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about this. But this is just some of the things that can happen when you don't regulate your stuff. It would be nice if therapy was free for everybody. It's not always easy to regulate your stuff on your own, but I do think the biggest thing is just like when it's like happening for me. When you're starting to feel things, to be able to like clock it, to like recognize this is what's happening to me right now. And what can I do here moving forward now? Well, I still haven't finished my oatmeal, but I think I'm done talking about that. Did you guys watch? Well, I don't know if you guys are following the Lego stuff. Ooh, should I watch the new Zelda trailer? I've never played a single Zelda. I wonder what you guys think about it. And if I should, well, it's for the Switch. Should I get the Switch too? So that I can play the new Star Fox and the new Zelda?
Pancakes topped with mint ice cream.
Watch the CoffeeZilla video? Yeah, I watched the CoffeeZilla one. Seemed pretty obvious and self-explanatory that Ben... Oh, you think Reckless Ben is a jerk? Wait, is that your takeaway from it all? Because Reckless Ben is trying to do the right thing. Of like seeing what's happened and trying to hold Bricks and Minifigs accountable, which by the way, they are. It might have been like some misunderstandings, but by the way, they did try to mitigate like thousands of dollars and not pay him back. They looked at the contracts and basically like that the owners of the Lego sets had and basically like just decided, oh, it's not worth it. Like you can't do anything to us, so we're actually just not going to care about it. Like, telling him that he didn't have enough, sorry, I'm getting I'm a little confused as to why you think Ben seems like a jerk. He did have a lot of content, but I think it has come to some good. Listen, I can understand what you're saying because I do think he does like sensational pieces of content, but I think the thing is that if this never had any public attention, this guy, the owner of these Lego sets, would have never had any sort of compensation. Like, could have never done anything about it. And that's what really sucks here. And that's what, like, that kind of content is shining a light on, is how even the police, like, will not try and fully understand the situation, will just listen to the CEOs and the guys that are in the big fancy houses, like the owners of, like, the new owners of the franchise, and like do whatever they say without like any sort of like due diligence or any sort of investigative, like not looking at both sides whatsoever, which is something that the police do a lot and which is really harmful to a lot of people and ends up with people losing their lives. So it's a big deal. I think even though it wasn't as exaggerated as like it maybe Reckless Ben was making it out to be, it wasn't on his part that he was making those exaggerations. Like, those were things that were told. Like, those were marketing numbers. Like, the value of the sets, the potential value of the sets, that was something that was put out by Bricks and Minifigs, like, for the PR of this event that they were having. But it's off-putting to me. Aren't you off-put by Bricks and Minifigs? And the way that their CEO basically talked about it. Oh my gosh, in the CoffeeZilla interview, when he was talking to CoffeeZilla, and he was saying, like, listen, can people understand that, like, well, I don't know. I can't think of exactly what he said, but he was trying to defend himself of like why they didn't care anything about like Brian, the original like owner, Brian and his dad. He seemed like the biggest asshole. The biggest asshole. Like, Briggs and Minifigs did not at all want to look into what their responsibility was for compensating this person, like what he had or had not been compensated for, like to closing out the accounts, what they still had in their possession. They just decided that they could say, no, that didn't happen. Sorry, go away. Get trespassed from our property. No, that's not our problem. When it is their problem. They didn't do their own due diligence, and that, like, is not, that shouldn't have come down to what Brian and his dad, like, losing out on thousands. By the way, it's like tens of thousands of dollars. They mitigated it and kept saying, like, oh, it's only like $2,000. First of all, only after they've been publicly held accountable did they recognize, okay, maybe we have like $2,000 to $5,000 worth of like Lego sets that are still there from them. But what it turns out is, I think after CoffeeZilla's investigation, it still does turn it out like there's like missing things. They never tried to look into it at all. They were like, what, he's saying that he didn't have this information available to him when he did, when everything was like very available for them to look into. They just never. Sorry. Now I'm a little heated. I think the reason why it got so much appeal is because this is like a tale as old as time, right? Like, people in positions of power, like financially, like concerning what, the police, like physically, they always like will take advantage of situations that they're in and won't care about anybody else affected by their greed, their carelessness, things like that. And that's like, I think that's what resonates with so many people. You just noticed my birthmark. Yeah. Oh, this here. You know what? In Arabic, what? How do you say it? in Arabic like culture, they say that if you get a birthmark like this, it's because your mom was eating dates or something when she was pregnant, you know, like the fruit dates. One time my grandpa saw this like in his old age and got mad at me because he thought I had gotten a tattoo. But it's not, it's just a birthmark. Yeah, I used to be self-conscious about this. And I also have like a mole on my pinky. Another thing I used to be self-conscious about. And do you know the stupidest thing? Like, I look back to me as a kid and I wish somebody would have instilled in my childhood self like a little bit more confidence. I used to wear like long sleeves and I would always cover up my hands up to like the knuckle of my pinky so that this tiny little mole wouldn't show. I don't know why I was embarrassed about it or thought it was ugly or something. The birthmark I think I cared less about. It kind of looks cool. This is not a birthmark. It's a scar from mosquito bite, which I've got plenty of. Hi, Zang! Some of it was sold off to pay to original owner. Original also sold some himself. Rest seemed like original franchisees sold it and cooked the books a little. Yeah. Yeah. Or they were, it seemed like there was maybe a bit of a cover up. I think there's potential. It wasn't even fully fleshed out. But whatever it is that happened, it's just like the thing that really grinds my gear and makes me still think Bricks and Minifigs are the evil people here are that like they didn't even look into it. It's the way that they treated Brian and his dad for asking for these things back, like their sets back or asking to be compensated for it. Like they did not look into it at all. They refused to. They said, your contract has nothing to do with us. Like, that's bullshit. Like, even though there was evidence that at least some of the sets were still in the store, in the possession, they just did not look into it at all. They refused to acknowledge that there was a contract. Do you remember, they used to say, they were publicly saying things like, oh, we actually don't even let our franchises, like, do consignment. So, like, this isn't on us. Shape of fish? A tropical fish? It kind of was, like, also a bit of, like, an arrowhead. Do you guys also used to, when I was a kid, I used to, like, suck on my skin a little bit to make it a little bit look like that? You know, when you break the capillaries, bring all the blood to the surface. Like a hickey, almost. But it's not. It's just always there. I wonder how it even happens. Because it's, like, red, right? But it's not blood. Like, I don't know what it is. Perfect tattoo excuse. It's a birthmark. Just get it in like a dark reddish ink. I think the unfair cop / company stuff is what resonates instantly with so many people. Yeah, exactly. Did it seem like the CEO or Bricks and Minifig was involved at all, other than just being a-holes? That's being involved. They decided they wouldn't be involved in any of it, and that's the problem. When they were, that it was their responsibility. They can't just say it's not our problem when they're holding this guy's Lego sets and not looking into how much is owed to him for anything that's sold. It is their problem. They can't just say this has nothing to do with us when it does. And I think the CEO, like the way he also threw the old owners under the bus, saying in the CoffeeZilla video, he goes and like, he basically lies about, well, it's like hearsay, right? But it seems like he's lying about knowing about like an old criminal record from like decades ago. Or something on her criminal record of the last owner, and was always trying to like pin the blame on them when the old owners were like trying to be open as much as they could about it. I definitely think the CEO and Bricks and Minifigs in general, I'm sorry if you work for them or something, see there, or like have investment, I don't know, I really like them, but I think they did the wrong thing. And I think it's maybe not as like premeditated as what it was like first seemed to be. But I still think it's the wrong thing. And I think corporations need to be held accountable for things like that. Leaders of corporations and the corporations themselves absolutely need to be held accountable. Otherwise, they're just going to keep getting away with it and just going to keep like acting as though they don't need to acknowledge the little man, you know? The U-Haul thing? Exactly. Like, there's so many points which they were lying to cover their asses. Like, obviously, I don't know. You need to hold them accountable. Angioma, they tanked their rep over, like, 20K worth of stuff. Yeah. Well, I feel like that things like that happen all the time where they'll just, like, sweep things under the rug. Sorry, I was trying to think of what the expression was for that. Big companies will just sweep things over the rug, and the guy, the CEO, was still acting like, hey, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just a few $1,000s, but it is a big deal to people. It's like a life-changing deal to that guy who was dying, and to the son who just, like, wanted to... like, they were selling it for a reason, and also it was like their big collection. It can have sentimental value. They need the financial, what? They need the financial, like, stakes of it. Also, look at the CEO mustache. He must be guilty. That's that kind of, like, 20s film noir kind of mustache. Does not make anybody evil. Does not make anybody guilty. CopyZilla left me thinking it was 90% previous owner's fault and 10% Brian. Are you serious? Ether, we watched different videos. We had different takeaways. Oh, I'm going to watch it again. And I'm going to get timestamps. And we're going to discuss this further because now I'm just talking out of like what I remember from the video. But I definitely don't think I think a lot of the blame should be on the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs and on Bricks and Minifigs and on the two new franchise owners, which thankfully they don't work for Bricks and Minifigs anymore. And I think that's because of the amount they must have lied to the CEO, by the way, about the U-Haul truck, which then the CEO had to go back and like take back. Like walk back and do that awkward as hell explanation that made him look so guilty. The amount of information that's just still not cleared up, like what actually did happen. The previous owners were saying, hey, it could be that like we missed some things, but I feel like yeah, there's a possibility, but it could also just as likely be covers up from the new owners taking inventory, like taking those Lego sets, you know, and thinking that it won't be a big deal, like it'll get lost in the paperwork. You were just trying to look at the most plausible explanation. I still find it crazy that you think the most plausible explanation is that it's only that, and it's like of no fault of the new, because even without the sets that are now like missing, that we still don't know where they are, like they could have been sold and just like he wasn't fully compensated, there were still other sets that were in the possession of Bricks and Minifigs, of the new franchise owners, that just they refused to give it back. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to look at the situation and think of the motives of people and like what they actually did, which was that they refused to give the things that they had in their possession back. And they refused to acknowledge that that contract existed. They refused to work with and help this guy who obviously had to deal with the previous owner. Sorry, I'm getting so involved when I swear I didn't care this much about it before. Hi, Night Killer. Blame for what? Moral obligation? They physically had the Lego sets that was under contract when they assumed ownership of the franchise. There was a contract in place that said, Legal Eagle had a video on this, on consignment, and what the legal responsibilities are. That contract passed on to the new to the new owners, okay? Like, those Lego sets were still in the ownership. They were never in the ownership of the previous owners, and when the new franchise owners bought the store, like, the ownership of those Lego sets was not passed to the new owners, okay? So there were still Lego sets that they refused to give back. Even if it was 100% CEO should make it right and deal. Yeah, exactly. CEO is dumb as hell. They're still responsible for it legally. Okay, whether or not, and then it's on them to prove where those Lego sets are. If they don't think it was ever in their possession, like, that's on them to prove that. Coffee Zellers said the new owners stole to, yeah. Hi, Brim. Yeah, we're talking about it. We're actually, like, really deeply discussing it. You'd have to go back and watch again. It sounded like they had accounted for everything. I feel like even before the CoffeeZilla video, Seether, you kind of, and this, like, I understand that this happens, right? And it's also, like, confirmation bias, where the things that we, like, the new information that we get, we kind of try and fit it into what we already believe. And I already did, although I definitely can see how Reckless Ben is, like, very sensational and doesn't always do things the right way. That I still was against the new owners. Like, I still think they have, like, a very big part of it. And I think from, even when, before the CoffeeZilla video, I remember Seether, you saying, or like, you, what, we're against Reckless Ben, kind of. Sorry if I'm not using the proper words. Who's the parasocial zealot now? Mike's just out here to stir shit up and cause drama. Lego Bell. Listen, I've got a lot of emotions, and it's like, it's things like this. Oh, I was just thinking this of, like, I don't like to look, you know how, like, true crime has, like, been really big and, like, people are so into that. I have a hard time following true crime stories or, like, getting into it. Like, I understand the interest there. I have a hard time because it makes me feel really bad, and it makes me feel like I'm living in a nightmare world where bad things can happen. Like, I'm living in, like, this scary, terrifying world. You know, when it has to do with, like, physical abuse or, like, murders and stuff. But when it's Legos, it's easier for me to digest. It's making these big, scary, like, although there still is these bad things that are happening in the world, like, I can't closely follow actual true crime stories. It makes me feel too scared. Scared and depressed. I agree with you there, that you're just not a fan of how Reckless Ben packages things. I think, when I was looking through his channel and, like, what other videos he has, it does seem very sensational. And then it did also make me question, okay, where's he coming from making these videos? Which I think we should all have that kind of skepticism of, like, looking at who's creating this, what are their motivations. So I think that's totally fair. Don't understand why you would choose to consume, oh yeah, of true crime stuff when it makes you feel bad. Like, on the one hand, it's like, is it a form of, like, trying to keep yourself safe by understanding fully how the world can work, even though it's so distorted, even though it's so, like, there's evil in this world and it's not everywhere, but in some small corners of the world there is, like, and to be aware of it is part of, like, protecting yourself from it. So I can understand that part. But also it just makes me feel, yeah, bad. Makes me feel bad. It's not always, I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. With the Lego story, it's a bit more investigative than victim exploitation type true crime. Yeah, investigate. Yeah, that's true. You were watching his Scientology series and you think it's really good? Maybe I'll watch a little bit of it, but wait, the Scientology thing Oh, Scientology can also get really scary because I've watched other videos that talked about that and how, as an organization, they can have like big impact and control over people's lives. I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch it, but maybe if I'm really looking for some content, I will. Money motivates all. Yeah. Reckless Ben doesn't make it seem like he's kind of like a Robin Hood, though. I mean, I think that's his shtick, but also, yeah, I don't know. You can have two motivations, two separate motivations. Funny enough, Reckless Ben also did a series on exposing the extreme haunted house that was basically like torturing people. Yeah, see, that's the kind of video that I can't watch, and I'm glad if it came to something good. And I'm glad that there are people that can stomach that stuff, you know? But I don't know that I think I could. I think I could watch it. I've watched like documentaries and stuff, like true crime documentaries, but then it will leave me feeling very off kilter for days, you know? I remember watching this one way back. Oh, the Scientology one? Yeah, I never watched it. I guess I want to watch the Zelda. The new Zelda trailer. Just makes you feel bad compared to Legos. Yeah. Should we watch it and have like a little discussion? By the way, I'm also kind of glad, Seether, that you have a differing opinion on this. It's like, it's good to talk about, you know? It's good to talk about. Because something that can be a consequence of sensationalized like media and events like that is that everyone like will think the same way without having any like sense of any kind of skepticism or any like questions about it. They'll just like blindly agree with the way things are. That's not how I personally consume, but I can also acknowledge maybe that there are so many other people's like takes on this. Maybe that does also affect my opinion of like how I process the information I'm given. Also, the real way to take care of this is with a lawyer straight away. Yeah, exactly. And not content brain it. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I just don't understand about Reckless Ben. Wait, there was also a video. Do you guys want to watch this now? I just saw a video. Whoops. Sorry. Sorry, my YouTube channel. What was it? Legal Eagle. Of like Reckless Ben going to trial without a lawyer. I think there's a new one. Oh no, it probably was old. Eh. Was it not legal? Legal Mindset. I don't know who these people are. They're big channels, but I don't know them.
Today we have an update in the Bricks and Minifigs versus Reckless Ben case, in which case Ben appears to be going lawyerless, pro se. We're going to get that today on The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. So jumping right into it, we have several cases involving Bricks and Minifigs, the franchisees, Reckless Ben, the Mancells. But today we're going to focus on one of them that had a hearing today. And this particular one was in the 4th Judicial District for the Provo Justice Court. You see Utah, state of Utah. You see the case number there, 261-000-376. So it's for misdemeanors, and it came up in front of Stephen F. Schreier. Now, this was for 2 separate charges, the first of which was disorderly conduct, and we're going to get into what that means and what that entails. That's a Class C misdemeanor. The next was criminal trespassing, which is a Class B misdemeanor. Now, we'll get into what those mean in just a second, but first, this important message. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable.
Oh my
for the
gosh, I
harm
grew
they
up with social
caused.
media.
You can use
I
the link
probably
in my
can't be.
description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz.
When I lived in
to
Saudi
see if you
Arabia,
qualify for. Now, what did
a lot
those
of social
actual
media sites
counts
were
mean? Well,
banned.
first, disorderly conduct is a very
I
broad
couldn't access
misdemeanor. It's
them.
something that, once again, in many places around the United States, if the police are really looking to get you for something, they can probably dig in under disorderly conduct and find something. So in this case, under this statute, the particular statute, it can be refusing to comply with a lawful order of the police to move from a public place or an official meeting, to unknowingly create a hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose. So that's very broad there, right? B, intending to cause any public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly create a risk of public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm. It's very
being
funny because
publicly
one of the things
annoying.
when I covered Vitali in the Philippines and Johnny Somali is they said they didn't have, that the U.S. doesn't have any laws for annoying people or causing disruption. And no, in fact, this is indeed one, disorderly conduct in the U.S. Very, very, very common that has this as an element. Further, to engage in fighting or any violent, tumultuous, or threatening behavior, to make unreasonable noises in a public place or an official meeting, making unreasonable noises in a private place, which can be heard in a public place, or to obstruct vehicular or pedestrian traffic in a public place or official meeting. So a lot of different qualifications here. Of course, this is a misdemeanor. This is not a felony. You're not going to lose any, rights here. There's no right to vote stripped away from you for this. Moving on, there's criminal trespass, which is a Class B misdemeanor, which is knowing that entry or presence or the unmanned aircraft, that's going to be the drone that they're flying, that the unmanned aircraft's entry or presence was unlawful, entered and remained upon the property, or caused the unmanned aircraft, the drone, to unlawfully enter and remain over the property, as to which notice against entering was given by, number one, personal communication to the actor by the owner.
Wait, I already got lost. I looked down at my oatmeal for 1 second, and I don't know why are we talking about drones, aircrafts. Did Ben have like a drone for filming?
For somebody with apparent authority to act for the owner. So telling them verbally, hey, you need to leave. And we did hear that several times. Also, fencing or other enclosures, obviously designed to exclude intruders. In some cases, there was fencing and enclosures. And 3, posting of signs reasonably likely to come to the attention of intruders. So criminal trespass, once again, similar to the disorderly conduct, it's going to be very easy to get this one. And this one is more of a
he was
layup.
definitely using drones for shots.
It's not something you go away for 30 years or life or get the get capital punishment over. These are just misdemeanors. Now, let's get to what actually went down during the hearing today.
All right, do we have Benjamin Schneider online?
Yes, sorry for the last time you called. I think I hit the wrong button and accidentally got in a private meeting with the prosecutor, but I'm here now.
Oh, that's fine. All right, we're here on
So very good. They're allowing
Zoom-
you to do things digitally.
Zoom
A lot
judge
of courthouses
trials,
are still
court
not
trials.
up to date when it comes to digital and working online. So good for them to letting Ben to do things online.
case 261 ending 376, scheduled for a pretrial today. And are you representing yourself on this case, Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
So that's called pro se. That means he's representing himself. Now, mind you, this is for the very specific charges of trespass and disorderly conduct. This is not necessarily for the RICO case. He may plan to have an attorney there, but this is pretty big because while he may have confidence and he may be able to handle some things here, the thing for Ben, the thing Ben has to worry about is this web that ties together. And what I would be very concerned about is even if he felt confidence in this case for the trespassing for disorderly conduct to do that himself, he really needs a lawyer there to think about how these things are all going to tie together for him and how the results are going to play out.
Okay, have you had a chance to speak with the prosecutor then?
Yes.
And that's where you got to be careful too. You got to be careful what you say to the prosecutor.
I will say, I've heard Ben say before, and I forgot in what video, that like he tries to do everything on his own because not everybody has access. Like, I don't know. Like his whole thing is like he does want to show people how to like, or like that there's a way to stick up for yourself or like for others without having all the resources, which hardly anybody does. I don't know about Reckless Ben specifically. I mean, he did, I don't know, he does have this like big YouTube channel that must be making money, so I think he should get a lawyer for himself, but I also think he thinks that he's doing a service to people by not getting a lawyer.
Because, they're not always looking out for your best interest as the defendant. They might be looking to pull a fast one on you. They might be looking to take a different angle.
Him and
with
his
you. So you
friends
have to be very
talking so
careful.
much in the police station was insane. You mean in that they should refuse to answer and get a lawyer? Yeah, no, but Ben did say something about how he doesn't want to get lawyers because he does want to show people like that it can be done. But I think what it's going to show is that it can't be done. It's unfair. And people, I think everybody does have the right to like do they provide like state attorneys for anything, or must be at least when you're being taken by a police, right? Although that is often hard because like they never have enough time and they don't actually look at the cases.
Do video footage?
Yes, there's the defendant claims that he gave
Such bad advice. I kind of agree. I do agree. I agree that it's bad advice, and I think it's going to backfire on him.
Yes.
Okay. Where do you live, Mr. Schneider?
Los Angeles.
Okay.
So he's not in Utah.
Wait, okay. After this, I'll say.
11 o'clock in the morning. Does that work for you?
Yes.
So we got a date.
Okay. And you understand that's Utah time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then, have you done your fingerprints yet?
One time when I was in middle school, a physics teacher asked a question, and I said, "Yes, sir." And I was like beating myself up, saying, "Why did I say yes, sir?" And I asked my friends, and they were like, "Oh, you're being a smartass." But I wasn't. I don't know why I said that. Okay, anyways.
I got arrested and did a fingerprint there. I don't know if that transfers over.
Usually it's got to be case by case, although it is very annoying. And some places do link these things up, but a lot of times it's case by case.
But I've not done a fingerprint for this specific case, no.
Okay, yeah, the fingerprints are linked to the case, so you need to go to your local police department, get a fingerprint card, and mail that into
his
the
local
court,
police
okay?
department in Mexico? Or wherever he is?
By the next court hearing.
Okay.
All right, that'll be the order then. Any questions for me, Mr. Schneider?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yeah, we'll see you on July 6th.
So boom, there you go. You have it. They have it there to see him on July 6th. So in this, it literally seems very simple. There's not much controversial. We're going to have coming up this hearing on July 6th. But what is true, and turning to my judgment, what is true is Ben needs to lawyer up for the trial.
The production on this video.
Is fine at certain instances, and maybe for the very, very basics here to come in and make an initial plea, he definitely should be lawyering up at this point to fight these charges, to fight these cases that he's going to be seeing. They're very serious. It's not something to laugh about or to mock. And even if, mind you, these things might be entering into some sort of diversion or there might be some sort of plea deal, it still helps to have someone who has experience in Utah and has experience in these specific areas. And I think Ben going pro se might end up in a weird, we could see a weird sovereign citizen-esque scenario coming out if it doesn't, for example, if it doesn't stack up the right way. And I don't want to see him, having to rebel against the whole justice system or having a grievance because perhaps he didn't understand something correctly. Having a lawyer at this point is definitely called for, and I do hope Ben gets an excellent lawyer to defend himself. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below.
He is called Reckless Ben. You know, like he is kind of like reckless in all this. I was just thinking of like he must have nerves of steel because isn't he terrified? I absolutely would be, even if he feels like he's doing a good thing. I don't know. Aren't you still terrified? And couldn't you? I don't know. I don't know. But then I'm remembering his name is Reckless Ben. Okay, I was also saying because I saw the Los Angeles. And did you guys see the news that Square Enix is opening a little cafe in Los Angeles? I am going to California soon, but I am not going to be going down there. I think I'm going to ask my little brother if he ever goes there or is in the area to get me something from the store. Free lawyer better than nothing. He would have had to say no to the public defender. Then you were screwing yourself over. They will look at your assets and determine if you can afford a private attorney. I think whether you then get a public defender or not may be state-based. I got it. And you can always decline. Defender, not offender. A public offender. Is this an arraignment? I don't know. I don't know a lot of legal things. But it sounded like they didn't do too much, that they are convening again. And I feel like that must be how a lot of the legal process works of like, okay, this is just to check in. Now is this and this done? Okay, then we'll circle back at this date. He's like an acrobat. Square Enix coffee. It's like Square Enix treats. There's Square Enix mugs. I want either a mug. There's like a little let's look at it. Are there a lot? This is so cute. I think it's opening like today. Our menu: Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Nier Automata, Plan to Home limited time. Wouldn't it be cool if I did go make a video of me going to the Square Enix cafe? Your hot number nines. There's a nines black tortilla roll. Midgar fondue pizza. Can I be honest? These do not look like they taste good. These look like they're gonna be gross. Like, it's an interesting idea, the sector plates and whatnot, but liquid metal slime curry? That might actually taste good, but does not look good. Sometimes, you start eating with your eyeballs, you know? And then with your nose, and then with your mouth. I think the drinks would be squishy slime. Cloud? Black lemon jelly with pineapple juice. Oh, it's just, look, that kind of a little bit looks like Cloud's hair. Just that it's yellow. Number 2, blackberry. D-slime Zodiac. 2B, milk coffee. Oh, this is 2A. 2B. This looks unappetizing. This looks like a child's like a kid would have made this. Like a 13-year-old babysitter made this for their the kid they're babysitting. Is that too mean? I'm so sorry. I actually love Square Enix and like all their IP. I just find this funny. No big cheesecake mousse. Yum. Oh! $35? Wait, 1 choice of drink, 1 main course, 2 random exclusive. Oh, a coaster, a placemat. This is kind of expensive. I actually don't know how much it costs to eat out nowadays. Is this kind of normal? But this food actually looks tiny. It looks like they're kids' meals. And maybe they are. Am I too old to be excited about this? But they should know. Their audience is old. They have a hard time bringing in a younger audience. I'll guess with lunch or dinner. 1 exclusive placemat, 1 random coaster. Wait, oh yeah. I want like a Chocobo shirt. Or a mug. Cloud sitting at a bench getting HP, resting at a bench. I wonder how successful it's gonna be. 25 bucks a pizza? Are you kidding me? And it doesn't even look like an actual pizza. It looks like... I don't know. I don't want to say bad things. But it doesn't look particularly good to me. Drinks and desserts look good. The drinks and desserts definitely look better than the main course. Midgar pizza. Wonder if this kind of coffee shop may work out of Japan. Oh yeah, because I think in Japan, right, they have a lot of these like themed shops. I feel like if they're gonna do it anywhere, maybe LA is the place to do it. The Midgar pizza should have at least one of its hot dogs blown up. Oh, from the eco-terrorist group Avalanche. Imagine getting those hot dog pizza. I'm seriously. Inflation in US real? Yeah, it is real. It is kind of expensive these days to eat out. That was your pizza you made yourself? Zing. No, okay. Okay, wait. If I went over to somebody's house and they made something like this and showed me and gave me like, oh, this is Midgar. It was a Midgar, it was fondue in the middle. I would be so excited and so happy, and I would think it's the coolest thing in the world. But I think I do expect something different from a restaurant. Yeah, I don't know, like a cafe. I just... yeah. If I'm being given cut up hot dogs like this at a public establishment, I think that's where I'm a little confused. I'm just Corner. I hope you're good too. I am good. You just ate at a Chinese buffet and it was $40 for me. Oh my gosh, how much did you eat? Was it an all-you-can-eat buffet? Or was it really good? Oh, 40 Canadian dollars. Good. That's like 30 US? Okay. Was it all you can eat? So you can only eat gray curry hot dog pieces for main course. Yeah, or this your number 9 type S, 9S black tortilla roll, which looks tiny. These are children's portions, aren't they? Japan, I feel like, would have actual good food, though. Surprisingly, they announced it with just this. Yeah, it's terrible for official Square Enix restaurant. Yeah, for the official one. This is the grand menu titles. We plan to hold limited time collaborations with other titles in the future. Okay, so it's gonna be like a rotating menu. Hopefully they learn, maybe to make it a little more, I don't know, nice. For something an adult would want to eat, would want to pay for. I guess better learn how to make a blow-up hot dog. They didn't even mean to blow it up that much, okay? They didn't realize it would be such a big explosion. And then get what's-his-face laughing on the side. Who's the guy who said, "Gwahahaha"? Begins with an H. The big army guy, the military guy. Or Midgar. It was all you can eat. Yum. Oh, $30 for all you can eat? That's really good, I feel like. I hope you went hungry. More like Japanese portions. Oh, you know what? That is true. Is everyone always says America has huge portions. Portion sizes. You know, if you do look at like any menu that writes the amount of calories on their menu, it's an incredible amount of calories per each meal. So maybe this is maybe this is reasonable, but I'm just deterred. No, I mean they could have made this with like, it's like, did they have to use hot dogs like this? They could have at least put it in a batter or something, you know? Heidegger, yeah. Her vision is warped. Oh no. Just another fat American here looking at the menu thinking that's not enough food. Thinking these are child portions. Oh yeah, also where are the fries? Does Japan not do French fries? Spa Rio, are you from Japan? Do you ever eat French fries? Are there ever French fries in restaurants? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to part my hair in the middle these days, but it's not gonna work. No, you're Spanish, but you've been there 2 times. Oh, nice. Oh, one day I'll go to Japan. One day I'll get to eat my way through Japan. Oh, I forgot to be putting on my Square Enix and Chill music while browsing through this. Oh, walk-in guests are not eligible to receive the placement. Oh no. Oh man, I wish I could click on it and just look at it a little bit better. Oh, right in the middle of Los Angeles. Oh, there was also Kingdom Hearts 4 that got announced, but I've not played Kingdom Hearts myself, and I'm kind of scared to. Because again, it does remind me a lot of my brother. Hi, Johnny! It has been a while. I'm good. How are you? Now I've just been chatting, and now I feel winded. Because maybe I've talked more than I have these past couple of days. I wasn't streaming for the past few days. I'm gonna try and stream tomorrow also, but then I'll like be maybe over a week not streaming because I'm going to see family, and I'm not gonna have my PC with me. $3 years ago, most menus in Japan weren't more expensive than $10. That was for an expensive dinner. Whoa. I don't even know how much things used to be in the US, but they used to be, right? Like, inflation has gotten bad these past few years. Most days I was able to eat ramen for like $3. Yum. Cheaper than any European country by far. You're surviving. Been in the hospital for a little over a week. Hopefully leaving Monday. Oh, I hope so too. Sometimes that's all we can do, you know? Survive until things get better. And hopefully they do get better. Whew. Okay, actually, let's watch I just want to see this. I've never played a Zelda game, but I'm considering playing one soon.
Called Hyrule, created by beings of supreme divinity. At the very edge of this kingdom, there lay a small forest. Within it, an ancient solitary tree quietly watched over the inhabitants of the forest. These forest dwellers were called the Kokiri. Each had a fairy companion, and they lived out their innocent lives in these woods.
I want a fairy companion.
However, there was one particular boy who did not have a fairy.
That Link? I don't know anything about Zelda. And is he supposed to be like a 5-year-old? Oh, Ocarina of Time. It is a remake, isn't it? Okay, one more trailer as I'm getting ready to start playing Chrono Trigger. On Nintendo games, oops, to be childish, but you guess that's the point. Yeah, I think their audiences, they always try and like bring in a young audience. Let me tell you, I think that's financially the way to go. I think that's what you got to do if your goal is to make money. You do kind of have to market not to us old geezers. But the market is much larger when you capture a younger audience. Didn't realize there was... Oh, yeah. I never played the original Ocarina of Time. Maybe that's what I should do. Was that the Nintendo one? They're just not your cup of tea? I haven't played a lot of it. A lot of Nintendo games. Because I don't usually have... The only Nintendo console I've had is the 64.
この世界の構造はとても複雑で、私たちが定義する光と闇を具現化したものは存在しなかった。でもそれを定義するものがこの世界に来たことで、この世界にも私たちの定義する闇が現れた。
You know what I didn't like about the new Final Fantasy VII trailer though, is that it did look a little bit childish. Like I could understand why they're doing it, especially because they're releasing it on the Switch at the same time. So I don't know if the like footage that we were shown in the 7th like was how it would be rendered for Nintendo Switch. I don't know if render is the right word, but how it would look on the Switch or if it would look different on the PC. But it did look a little bit like more childish. But then you think of the original game and the little like block figures and everything, and it kind of is a little bit childish. I just was hoping it would be more catered to like an adult's aesthetic. And maybe I'm like just being too judgmental about that, because I think we can enjoy things that aren't like super hyper realistic too. Yeah, I don't know. It just like made it like interesting to think about, and I don't know how I feel about like the new Final Fantasy yet. Though of course I'm excited. I guess this trailer doesn't mean much to me because I've not played Kingdom Hearts. But is that like Sora? Is it supposed to be Sora, the same character throughout all the Kingdom Hearts? Or is it a different character? Or is that a spoiler? This looks like it's trying to be both for kids and adults. It's like in the gray city. But it's still like Disney aesthetic. You love Nintendo 64, Ocarina of Time, but so far the only Zelda game you ever got into. Should I play the Nintendo 64 one? I had a Nintendo 64, but I never played Ocarina of Time. We didn't have very many games. My parents were stingy and didn't allow us to get a lot. Square Enix restaurant opened today and people just put pics on Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I'd like somebody to make a YouTube video and put it out. Decent food? These are paid reviewers, I bet. Comfy atmosphere, friendly service. You know what, though? I do think, like, actually going and having an experience would be better. Or, like, it will make the whole experience better. Like, even if the food tastes like the way it looks like in these pictures, I think you just kind of go for the experience. Do they have waiters dressing up as the character? That would be fun. I don't even know how to use it, to be honest. Like X or Twitter or whatever. Whatever, I'll wait. Maybe tomorrow if I stream, we'll look at some reviews. Hopefully somebody will make a vlog. Make a vlog about it. Just wants to see Sephiroth cosplayer. And can he cosplay me fixing him? Can we LARP it? I'll fix him, I swear I will. I swear. Let me catch my breath for a second first. For so many years, I still think Disney characters don't fit with Final Fantasy characters. It is different. I think that was smart to try and get a younger audience into the franchise. And Disney, lots of people love Disney IP. Oh god, what if they made a Disney World? What if they had inside one of the Disney Worlds a Square Enix section? A Midgar roller coaster, perhaps? No, there's an actual roller coaster kind of thing. The cart that you're in near Barrett's hometown. Missed the boat on Kingdom Hearts. I never had a PS2. Oh, see, that was one of the few consoles I had, a PS2. That's how my first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy X. Wait, you said Sephiroth, but you meant Seymour. Yeah, only if he tries to marry me. They set up a photo booth where you can be Yuna in the white dress. You know, I always thought if I ever got married, which honestly, I'm gonna be honest, marriage isn't something that I think I need in my life, though it would be nice. But I always thought I'd have a dress like Yuna's. Or I always thought, like, that's so beautiful. Like, that's the goal. Except that whole wedding was not great for Yuna, but that dress was fire. Booting up Chrono Trigger. I don't know how much I have left. Yeah, there's always ads. I told myself I was gonna treat myself to YouTube Premium for my birthday, but I didn't. Let me change the category on Twitch. Thank you guys for chatting with me, or just chatting with me.